Hi, I'm Dr. Byron Bloomer. I'm a psychologist and the director at Cedar Creek Counseling. I started this clinic in 2000 and have been practicing psychotherapy since 1992. I feel very privileged to work with a group of professionals that I'm really proud to talk about as very caring, very empathic people who are genuinely interested in helping their clients to move from the place that they're at when they come in the door to just feeling much better about their lives and their emotional state and their relationships with the people around them. This group that works with me are highly trained, very competent, very mature, and really carry a lot of life wisdom. So I feel great about introducing them to you and hope that you will take a look at our website and read a little bit more about them on the biography page. Most commonly, people come to see us reporting symptoms of depression, like sadness or emptiness or loss of meaning in their lives, trouble sleeping, trouble with appetite, and other sorts of things. They also come in with anxiety, with fear, shaking and heart racing, and a lot of symptoms that get triggered in certain kinds of situations. Very common that they get triggered in social situations or where there's performance that's needed, like at the job or something like that. So we help people with depression and anxiety and anger problems and high stress lifestyles and stress problems. And often those kinds of symptoms affect the relationships at home or with family, with friends, with colleagues at work. And we also help people deal with a lot of life transitions like marriage challenges or divorces, job changes, losses of a parent, sometimes losses of a child. So people come with many kinds of symptoms and they come in with many kind of life situations. And oftentimes what I find we're really doing below all of that is to help people develop or redevelop a connection with themselves that gets lost in the shuffle. And the way I tend to visualize it is that deep in our core we have a sense of self. You might think of it as your soul, you might think of it as just the core part of who you are, and that connection to that part of us gets clouded over with a lot of things that happen to us in life, and our job is to really try and pull back a lot of what happens so we can really reconnect with that core part of ourselves, that soul part of ourselves. And when we redevelop that connection to that part of ourselves, we just tend to feel our lives are enhanced, they're richer, they're more meaningful. The symptoms dissipate, whether they came in with anxiety or depression, because what's emerged is more of a sense of groundedness with who you are. And when people reestablish that, relationship with themselves is better, with other people is better, things in their lives feel like they're flowing again, and hopefully our clients are able to leave then in a much better place than when they came in. That is our true goal. So there are many traditional therapy approaches, and we incorporate those, but we also have some state-of-the-art therapies that I'll talk to you about in a moment. The traditional approaches include terms like cognitive behavioral therapy, interpersonal therapy, psychodynamic therapy. These words may or may not mean something to you, but they've been around a long time, and they're just organized theoretical ways of approaching understanding human beings. And our job is to try to approach helping you in an organized way that's effective and efficient. So we try to help, basically, I'll just summarize all three of those. We're really trying to help people understand and become more conscious of and aware of their emotions and how those emotions affect their behaviors, affect their thought processes, and affect their relationships with themselves and with other people. And when we can help people understand and become more conscious of the emotions, then behaviors improve and change, thought processes improve, and relationships improve. And that just kind of summarizes many, many years of developed theories on how to help people. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about some state-of-the-art therapies. This first one you may find in some other clinics, but we really attempt to specialize in this process, which is called collaborative couples therapy. So we may see a couple that comes in, and I, for example, might say I see the husband, and one of my partners here sees the spouse, and we might do some individual work with those folks to help them get to a place where they're really ready to do the couples therapy. So they might have to deal with some internal personal issues first in their individual therapy, and then when they are ready to do the couples therapy, and all along the way in this process, the two therapists are collaborating and consulting with the permission of the couple. So we can kind of coordinate behind the scenes and make sure that we're trying to help the couple move down the same path, if to whatever their goals are. And then when we are all ready, after the individual therapy process is feeling good and ready, then we get together and we do the couples therapy, which might include two therapists in the room, or it may just include one. But that way we have had a coordinated process where everyone feels they got to do their individual work that was needed first, and then they're able to have a much better setup for doing successful couples therapy. So we have another sort of therapy here that I would call truly state-of-the-art. It was just developed about 6 or 7 years ago. It's called brain spotting. So brain spotting is an attempt at using your eye position in order to help evoke certain emotions. So you might notice in your life that if you look down, sometimes it tends to evoke a little bit more of a sadness in people. Looking up tends to evoke more of a thoughtfulness in people. And what we do is we try to help people find eye positions that actually give them deeper access to an emotional state. And then when they have access to that emotional state, we have a better chance at going in deeper into that emotion and literally kind of releasing it, in a sense, out of their body state. And when emotion is released, people with the freedom of the burden of the emotion, they're much more able to kind of think and behave more without the burden of the emotion, more rationally, more calmly, from a more centered and grounded place. So using eye positions helps us access that emotion. So a lot of traditional therapies tend to focus on the left brain and more of a logical approach to issues, and some of those are really effective sometimes, but often there's another need that people have. And there's a therapy we use called somatic processing, and soma is your body. So what we do is we pay attention to body states, and our body has a lot to tell us, and we all know that there are things like butterflies in our stomach sometimes, and or a knot in your stomach, or you might feel love in your heart, and we can literally feel those sensations. So in this therapy, we help people become more conscious and aware of feelings that they are carrying and emotional states they're carrying, but from your body rather than from the brain process, rather than from trying to think about those feelings. We try to help the client access those feelings from a body state, and once they've accessed those, there are ways to help process those through so their body doesn't feel as if they're carrying it with them any longer. And what's been really exciting for me in my whole career of doing psychotherapy is to see how clients leave a session feeling like they are relieved of physically a sense of relief and freedom from an emotional burden that was held in their body, just the hour before. And then when we do that a number of times, associated with certain memories, it might be a traumatic memory or something just very difficult, when we go through that process a few times, they find that the body state has permanently relieved them of the emotional burden. So it might take a few times, but there's almost always a relief in every session, and then that just gets deeper and deeper with time. So usually what we do is we combine brain spotting with somatic processing, and what we have found in general is that it's more efficient and effective than some other therapies, especially for anxiety and trauma. And in particular, EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization, that's been a common popular therapy in the last 20 years, and they're generally finding the brain spotting is more accessible and easier for clients to do, and therefore it's more efficient and faster for clients to be able to get to their healing. So just a couple of quick business things to let you know. About 2/3 of our clients use their private or commercial insurance to help cover some of the costs. We run a sliding scale for people who are in need of some financial help. Most importantly is we want you to know you would always be treated like a person here with kindness and respect. So when you call us, we personally will call you back if we don't answer the phone. And we would like to spend a little time with you on the phone and get a little sense of what's happening in your life. Make sure that we feel like we're a good fit for the concerns you have. And then we can talk about proceeding at that point. But most importantly, we want you to know that the contact you have with us will be personal and of really high quality. You'd never be treated like a number here. It's probably true that most people wait years before they start a therapy process. That I have found a lot of people, most people, say they wish they would have started a long time ago. Life's complex. It's complex for all of us, and something that inhibits people from getting that help earlier is sometimes embarrassment or shame. And I just want you to be aware that most people coming here feel some of that in the beginning, and I think within the hour they realize these are human problems, and our job really is to help them navigate life. So I invite you to give us a call if you feel like you are in need, and we'd be glad to answer your questions and spend some time with you on the phone.